Hi everyone. In week 8, we begin our next topic of discussion, which is all about solid and hazardous waste. And we're going to spend most of our time discussing solid waste versus hazardous waste. And the simple reason is because solid waste is something that everyone, all of us, has an impact on, right? So how much waste we're producing in a day, what we do with that waste when we're finished with it, all of these things are topics that we can sort of take a look at and also think about the role that we play in these as well. So we're going to particularly, again, pay attention to and talk about what solid waste is, specifically one category of solid waste, which is municipal solid waste. And municipal solid waste is the waste that you and I are involved in on a day-to-day basis. So the waste that we make in our homes and at school and businesses and things like that. So the things we come into contact with most. So I have a lecture about that. I have notes. I also have a video that takes you on a tour of a recycling facility. So sometimes these are called materials recovery facilities. It just kind of depends on who runs them. This one is in Philadelphia, but we do have several of these facilities here in our area as well. As a matter of fact, years ago I toured one in the south side of Chicago, as a matter of fact. And the interesting things about these facilities is you learn a little bit more about the process of recycling. Right now we throw everything into a bin, right? We have single stream recycling, which is fantastic. It means we can throw everything that's recyclable into one place, and then our waste haulers will come and pick that container up, and then they take it to one of these facilities. And then at these facilities, you can actually see how those recyclables are sorted. So we pull the paper from the plastic, from the glass, from the aluminum, from the metal, and we separate everything out, right? And the idea is to create a system where we can turn those materials then into recyclable components. So we can crush the glass, and we can use that glass to make new bottles, or we can take the plastic and cut the plastic up into little tiny pieces and melt it to make other products. So again, you don't have to watch this video, but it actually is really interesting if you've sort of ever thought about what happens to those products once we throw them in the recycling. So I recommend taking a look at that. For lab this week, we're going to be talking about soils. So with the recent warm weather that we have had, and it looks like the warm weather is going to continue at least into the next week or so, the ground should be soft enough, and with all the snow melt we've had, the ground's probably pretty wet, so that wet ground is fairly soft. You should be able to go out and collect a soil sample. So that's what I would like you to do for lab this week. I've got a video about labs, so giving you a lab overview. You're going to do a few different things with the soil, make some comparisons with some color charts, and going to try to figure out the texture. I specifically outlined how to do one part of the lab, as it's a frequently asked question that I got a lot from last fall. How do you do this part of the lab? So I pulled this part out so that you all can see that. And then, of course, your lab quiz. Assignments this week, just the discussion and the check-in survey. That's all we have for this week. So once again, discussion leaders, just make sure that you're posting your question by Thursday of your discussion week, and please make sure that you also are replying to another student, right? That's part of your grade as well as it is everyone else's. I also wanted to just take a quick moment to remind you all that you can still complete the self-analysis for the exam. That's in the Week 7 folder. So this lecture exam self-analysis, if you didn't see it last week, this is just to remind you that it is there and you can still complete this. So the idea is you will take a look at your exam, think about the questions, why you missed the questions that you missed. Did you not understand something? Did you read it too quickly? Was it a simple mistake that you made? So think about the exam, think about the mistakes you made, think about how you prepared, and come up with a plan for what you'd like to do next time. So for the next exam, maybe you're going to start studying a little bit several days in advance versus just trying to study the day before the exam. Or maybe you have the idea to send me a copy of your study guide so I can look it over for you and make sure you have all the information you need and use that to take the exam. So lots of different things you can come up with. Again, this particular assignment isn't due until our next exam. So you've got lots and lots of time to think about this. And if you complete the self-analysis, I'll give you points right back on your exam. And again, a lot of it is dependent upon how you scored in the first place. So those students who scored better on the exam will get fewer points, and those students who didn't do so well on the exam will get more points. That's the idea. So you can still complete that this week. I also do want to quickly point out that I have, oh, it's not going to be visible right now, that I have an extra credit assignment, which I am going to start discussing here probably formally in the next couple weeks. We're going to be part of something called the Eco Challenge. So there's a group called Eco Challenge, and they are a group that started kind of out west. They were in Washington State, and they were a group that mostly did a lot of sustainability education and other projects, and they came up with this idea of creating these eco challenges where they would get people, groups of people, to think about actions, everyday actions that they could take and that they could have them commit to for a certain period of time to make a difference. So this particular one is going to coincide with Earth Day, and in this case it's going to be an Earth Month challenge. So the challenge is for all of April, and what you will do is there's a document here that goes over all of the specific details, but essentially what you'll do is you will sign up for the challenge, you will choose some actions, things that you're going to do, and then you will check in on a daily basis, essentially saying, yes, I did my challenges today, or even if you didn't do them, you can still check in and say, oh, I missed my challenges today, I'm going to try next time. So again, all the instructions you need are right here. This is a time-specific extra credit activity. It is only available from April 1st to April 30th, and after that challenge is over, so you can't participate anymore. So if it is something that you even think you might be interested in doing, you can go ahead and sign up. Even if you don't complete anything, even if it's just something you think about occasionally, you can earn a couple extra points. If you do the challenge in full, which in full just means you participate at least 15 days out of the 30 days in the month, I'll give you 15 extra credit points. So it's a really great opportunity to earn some extra credit, especially for some of those of you who are a little nervous about how the exam went and you're a little bit nervous about your grade. No worries. We've got lots of opportunities to improve. And here's an opportunity to boost that grade. So I wanted to point this out. I'll start reminding everyone about signups in the announcements the next few weeks, and in my midweek and summary emails, I'll remind everybody about signing up as well. So I just wanted to point out that that is here. It's not quite available yet because I haven't turned the extra credit folder on, but I will do that. So by the time you see this video, the extra credit video or extra credit folder will be visible under the course materials folder here on your main navigation menu. Okay, so I think that does it for this particular week. If you all have any questions, please let me know, and enjoy the rest of this nice spring weather. Yay, we finally have something to look forward to.